Today I'm going to show you one way I like to make arroz blanco mexicano. This is a Mexican style white rice that's perfect as a side for carne con papas. And I made that the other day and I will be using the leftovers for tacos dorados. This is gonna be good. So I'm working with 2 cups of rice. You'll want to use 2 cups of long grain rice, but I only had medium and I rinsed this in cold water and let it dry. Here I have some fresh onion that I diced, 2 cloves of garlic minced. I'm using 1.5 cups of vegetables. These are frozen vegetables that I thawed. I will be adding salt and I also will be adding about 4 cups of water. In a preheated pan, I'm going to add around 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. And I'm going to add my rice and start to toast it. I'm going to toast this over a medium-low heat until it's fragrant and golden in color. Around 5 minutes into the toasting of the rice process, I'm going to add the onion and continue the saute, and everything's going to become very fragrant at this point. I'm going to add 1 fresh jalapeno and my minced cloves of garlic and continue the saute quickly. I don't want it to burn, I want it to be aromatic. And at this point, I'm going to add my thawed mixed vegetables and just saute that quickly, combine it with the rice. I am going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Sometimes I skip the salt and add chicken bouillon powder into the mix, but here I'm adding salt and 4 cups of water. And if I were making something like mole or something with chicken that I boiled, I would be adding the chicken broth. That also works great for this recipe, but I'm just doing simple today because I'm serving it as a side. Okay, so I'm going to cover with a lid. And I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. Once it's at this point, I am going to lower the heat. I don't want it to burn, but I'm going to put this on low and set my timer for about 18 minutes. It takes about 18 to 20 minutes. And then once it's done, I'm going to shut the heat off, leave the lid on, and I'm going to set this aside and let it set for about 10 minutes with the lid on. After 10 minutes, I'm going to remove the lid finally, and then you can fluff and serve. I love to make this rice alongside chicken mole or carne con papas, and that's what I served it with. And if you want the recipe for this, I will link it in the description below. But one of the comments underneath the carne con papas recipe was this. They remember their mother making it, and they used the leftovers to make tacos dorados. So let's do that. So here I have some cold leftover carne con papas and some corn tortillas. Let's make some tacos dorados. First, I like to preheat and pass the corn tortillas in hot cooking oil, not to make them crispy, to warm them through and make them pliable. So when I go to fold these, the corn tortilla does not crack. So I have my leftover carne con papas, and this is actually cold, and I'm just going to mash it with a fork. And this is a great way to reuse leftovers for a second meal. Pretty much my husband, myself, and my son, my eldest son, will eat these home-cooked meals. My youngest has food aversions. He's autistic, so he really doesn't eat a lot of what we eat, but this is enough for the 3 of us. So I'm going to spread this onto my corn tortilla, fold it over, give it a press, and this is ready. So I'm going to add these to a pan with cooking oil, and I'm just going to shallow fry these until they are golden brown and crispy on the exterior. If you hear anything in the background like the TV or kids playing, that's just life happening in my house. Actually, my husband was watching one of his favorite shows and he was talking to me while I was filming. So I started laughing because he had no idea I was filming and cooking at the same time. So I'm just going to give these all a flip, and like I said, you want to fry these up until they are golden brown and crispy on the exterior. Okay, so here's a plate. I'm going to top it with fresh lettuce. Here I'm adding some fresh sliced onion. I like to add some Mexican sour cream right on top. You can top them however you like, by the way. And I'm just going to add some cotija cheese and some green salsa. And you notice I have that rice on the side, and this is leftovers. This is something I do all week. I love to cook a meal and recreate something with the leftovers. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.